Today I'm gonna be actually like talking about one of the very interesting things, and which maybe people were wanting to have it for some time now, and that is about the AI-based counseling, meant to basically help you understand in today's world where the careers are going to a different level and the new careers are coming up, and we having less knowledge or no knowledge about those careers. Now, counseling the parents about a career becomes at times a little tough one, right? How do you actually get into it, and how do you basically, what is the process, without having any kind of a additional thing? You can, by the way of DeepSeek, you can actually use this AI tool and give a proper prompts to create something bigger out of the reports that's there today. Today, what we have it is like, obviously like one thing, the report, which talks about certain parameters, and it's a 24 page, the new format of the report, which I'm sure by now most of you would be having that, is about 24 page for a CFT. I'm talking about a career fitment test or a psychometric test that we popularly call it. Now, this is the career fitment report, and everybody knows how to generate the report. Am I correct? Am I correct? Everybody knows how to generate the report. Yes. How many? My question to you is, how many languages can you generate the report in? How many languages? Tell me. It's only one language, right? How many languages can you take the questionnaire? I mean, the student or whosoever is taking up the or filling up that 80 questions, how many languages can you fill in the new software? It's 279 languages, right? 279 languages, which means the whole software has been made in Google. So we are using the Google technology. So Google has got a translator. So what happens is, when you send the questionnaire to the student and you click on the right, on the questionnaire, on the right hand side, when you click, what happens? Once you click that, it gives you an option of a language. You can change the language in Tamil, Punjabi, French, German, whichever the language that you want to. So this makes this product what? Global? Yes. So the person in whichever language a person want to take a test, that makes it a global language, global product, right? But report will be generated into the English language. So that's for sure. Now, that's another thing. That's one thing. Now, second thing is, we have that report. Okay. How do you generate the report? We all know about it. We just have to go to this particular page, that is page number 1, and there's a client ID, and I just have to select the email ID, and all those people who have taken the test, like, this will be visible. So we just have to select this, and we just click that. Let's say the Banmeet has happened. So this report is for Banmeet, or this for Vishram, so whatever. So the whole report gets changed. And this is Banmeet, okay? And now since I changed it, it is coming as Rajul Shrivastava. So ultimately, uh, just at the click of a button, your report is generated. That's the most beautiful part of this. Two beautiful part. Number one, on a click or report, you don't have to copy paste, do nothing. This report is generated. And first thing is, you can take it in 249 languages, which the Google Translator has it today. If it increases, accordingly, you can do it. And which widely covers major languages, all the major languages, correct? Now, the thing is, this is the information, and this is your career fitment test. And this is like, this is first be talking about the Riaz theory. Riaz theory helps you to understand what? The interest part of it, correct? What is the interest of the person? What is the type of interest that the person has got it? A lot of people come to me and say, Rajul, tell me that, all are there. So do we need to explain all? So primarily, we don't need to explain it all. We need to actually tell the parents about the most dominant one, and second and third. First three are considered, the most dominant, the second most dominant, the third. In this, it is reflecting with the green color. So highest is a social, then second highest is realistic, and third highest is artistic. Right. So social means conveying understanding others in personal relationships. So the interest that the child will have in this case is that to create a personal relationship. A person will be very friendly, well, very social for that matter, would be required at the public places. People will call him, because he's very social kind of a person. Second thing is we have it is called the realistic. Person will learn the things and enjoy the things from by doing the things from the hand for that matter, by doing self, you know. Uh, so the whatever has to be done physically, the child will be more interested in, right? Then comes in the third, that is artistic. A person will be a right trainer. It will be artistic, aesthetic, like something to do with the interior designer, architecture, creativity, painting, sculpture. Anywhere graphics. Wherever the design element is required, a child will be having that kind of an interest. So you'll find when a child is spending 24 hours, you'll find either of the things. Either he would be playing a sports, or he would be basically doing some kind of a painting thing, or maybe like he's social, so he would be more with the friends. He'll spend a little more time with the friends. So that is the kind of a personality the child possesses, right? So this anyway is coming into that, but that explanation is something that we give it. But when you are new to this system, you find it a little tough to understand that how can you actually like be doing and giving such information to the people, because you feel that you may not have an idea. But honestly speaking, everything is written on that. It is written in a very simple and single liner. Now the idea is you have to expand that and explain to the parents, and that's where the some of the counselors feel that we have never done a counseling. So what? I mean, that is something they can read it also. But how is that like, what is that we are going to explain them? In the report, when it is written and we are just explaining that, that does not actually like talk about a counseling. Counseling is something which is beyond, which is something which is where you are able to explain them, create a kind of a roadmap, right? So what is this report doing? It is giving the Rias theory, which is it is talking about now, for example, the realistic. It'll talk about the type of a personality the person has got it. It'll talk about the values, like this person is realistic. The realistic people have got common sense. So that is the value that this child holds. Hai. Similarly, if you talk about like artistic, the value system that the child will have, it is called beauty, originality. He will be able to appreciate the beauty, you know, imagination will be good, and like kind of a stuff. And potential aptitude kya hai? Creativity. A person will be very creative. If you put him into the creative field, or during the summer camp, you put the child into creative stuff, I think the child will be able to do very good. Right? Learning style, learn by intuition and experiment action. Intuition, like, he would be mostly taking a decision through the intuitive mind, not always from the logical mind, right? So idea is that you have all that stuff. So this basically helps you to understand the personality, the value, the personal aptitude, the learning style, and the environment. What kind of an environment the child will require to actually like do the thing. So you don't have to do for everything, but whichever is the top parameter. For example, over here, you have, like the social as being the top parameter. So you will have to explain him about the social part of it. This is like, this is artistic. So you have this social, right? So social kind of a personality, what is the kind of a value the person has got it? What is the potential aptitude, learning style and environment? This is something that you are going to be talking to the parents. The first thing that you'll be talking about is the interest, because we have a 5-step process. What is that 5-step? Do you remember? Right, Srinivas. Very good. It's interest, right? Interest is number one. Number two, aptitude. Right, Srinivas. Number three, हिस्ट्री कहाँ से आ गया भाई हिस्ट्री personality, right, Srinivas? You seems to have done your homework very well. All right, and what is fourth? So teen ho gaye. So you had an interest in 10 things. You have a personality that supports those interests. Were only 7 out of 10. This is the normal example I gave. Out of 10 interests, you only had 7 areas of personality which resonates those interests, which supports that interest, right? And out of that, then third thing is called the aptitude. Interest को aptitude के बाद आती है personality. So interest 10 थे, out of it the personality support, the aptitude supported only 7 of them, and further it filtered down to 5 when it comes to personality. Now, after that, what you're going to do is you have to see that fine, out of 10, there are 5 professions which has come in. Now, but you have to select one profession. So how are you going to do that? Demand and income. Srinivas said it rightly. So then you have to see ki the profession that is there, does it have a demand for that matter? If it doesn't have a demand, then what are you going to do? Like, I mean, it has to have a demand. Yeah. So, for example, singing has got a lot of demand. Every restaurant today requires the live singers, and so they have the job. But then ultimately that job is not enough. I mean, they have a demand, but the kind of a money that's being paid is less. So demand ke baad, what is important is the income also, as rightly said by Srinivas, demand and income. And finally, like you need to see, the first thing is the interest, filter down to next level, that is the aptitude, filter down to further level, that is the personality, filter down to furthermore level, then that is talking about what? The demand, and then finally the income. So out of the 5 areas, the 5 professions which were left at the level of a personality, when you further filter down, the demand could be only for 3 areas. Out of those 3 places where further it talks about what? It talks about the income. So that is only like now you have zeroed down to 1 or 2 profession. So that's exactly the 5-step process. Across the world, across the globe, the people have been following majorly this 5-step process. That's the fundamental. Beyond that, you can create anything, but fundamental is this. So when you talk about the career counseling, so ultimately how it is scientific is, again, I'm going to repeat it. When a person attempts 80 questions, it is based on multiple intelligence theory of Dr. Howard Gardner. And what is going to happen is when a person is having, like, we have, 8 multiple intelligence, and this is coming from our different brain parts, like, which are the 5 brain parts that we have got it? Parietal, कौन से है? We have, which all brain parts do we have? Can anybody help me to understand that? Frontal, prefrontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal, right? So these are the 5 brain parts we have got it. Brain has got a different parts because they have a different function. Otherwise, God would have created the same. We have left and we have right. So as per MI theory, different part has different functions, and the brain is made up of neurons, and the number of neurons connected, the kind of a circuits which is there within each this thing, where you have in whichever the compartment you have got more neurons or more active neurons, where they're creating some kind of a circuit with each other, that part becomes very active part for you. You start enjoying that. Some people they love mathematics. Some people love English, the language. Some people love sports. Some people love, architecture, and different people have got, some people love to continue to keep on talking and socializing. Some people love traveling. So why is that we've got a different interest and the people actually like move towards a different thing? It is because our neuron connections in that particular portion or the compartment, whether it's a temporal or parietal or whatever it is like more. And therefore that becomes a comfort area. So that becomes your comfort area, that becomes your strength. So when you have to make a career, you play on what? You play on your strengths, isn't it? So this is something that you do it. Now, so when the 80 questions are given, there are 10 questions related to each multiple intelligence. So there are 80 questions. If we would have given 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 questions, then maybe anything could have happened. But when we give 10 questions related to one multiple intelligence, so the accuracy would be more. Now, where does these questions come from? Is that something that came to Rajul Shrivastava's mind and has decided that fine, put it It's not that. It's a global standardization of a psychometric test. Those are the questions which are there. The language has been a little simplified. There's still certain questions which may not be, which some people may find it tough. So you have to help the parents, and the parents will have to further help the child. But yeah, majority, I think, out of the 80, 75, 76 questions are direct and decent questions, which will be actually like helping you to understand. So when the child fills it in the own mother tongue, why we have created like you can convert that into your mother tongue, because when the child answers that into their own mother tongue, the understanding level of that particular question is better, and therefore he would be able to put in rightly 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the thing. And now what happens is, whatever the questions that you have it, you need to read it down. And if you can do it, if you want to actually like help children better or students better, what you can do is you can actually create a voiceover, and you say question number one is this, and the what means is this, and you can give an example if you want to put it 1, 2, 3, 4. So four is this, three is this, two is this, one is this. For example, as I normally take an example of if you so if the question is, do you play a musical instrument? Now child has an option to write 1, 2, 3, 4, one being the least interested and four being the most. Four, if he's playing very good, he's an expert in playing a particular instrument, right? Three, if he's learning right now. Two, if he's thinking to start. Or one, if you're not interested at all, right? Let's say you want to play a guitar, you want to learn a keyboard, you want to learn a drums. So that's an answer. So if you explain that way, the child will understand better. So all the 80 questions, you can actually convert that one time into your voice note. And along with the questionnaire, if you can just send this audio clip, you know, along with it, I think that's going to be the next level. I mean, that's going to be really helping you to get the right questionnaire, the questions. So that is the right answers for that matter. Because when the child understands and gives an answer, I mean, that will be more accurate. If the child doesn't understand and still gives an answer, the accuracy is taken for a task, right? So that is the way it is more scientific. So ultimately, what is the software doing, by the way? Software is actually, otherwise, if you ask the child, like, ki fine, tell me, are you interactive or are you, are you strong? Which of the am I do you have a strong one? It will be very difficult. Child will not be able to tell you, right? It will be very vague. So to have the report and to have the MIs properly being framed, because the only input that we are giving to the people is the MI. MI is the only input that we are going to give it to the people, to the software. And based on MI, on the basis of the logics and the parameters which are scientifically being designed, the software converts that and give it an information in the fashion that it requires, which is usable for that matter. Now, again, the interpretation of that is something which is which is something the counselor will have to undertake and will have to explain the parents. And therefore, we always suggest that don't ever, don't ever give the report first and do the counseling later. Do the counseling first and then give the report. That is the way it goes in. Give it in 24 hours, that's okay. But first do the counseling. So the counseling has to be done in two parts. You can do it in one single session also, or you can do it in two sessions, but it has to be done in two single parts, right? Sorry, two parts. What is the first part for that matter? Once the child has answered the question and it has been submitted, and you have generated the report for a child. Now, what is going to happen? The report like this is going to be generated, right? And it is talking about this is going to be talking about career fitment test. This is the MI, right? This is the base of it. MI is the base of it. Now, this is talking about the ranking. It is talking about the percentage, right? So it is talking about all those factors. So I think this has already given you the information. Now, this information has to be the software using the algorithm to basically, to bring out this information for you. And this is the base information, be it the DMIT, be it the psychometric. The information is about the MI. All the other parameters which is being there are being taken from where? It is taken from MI only, right? So therefore, the accuracy of MI is the most important thing. Now, when you talk in terms of a DMIT, DMIT it is a fingerprint science. So that's not going to change. Where you can conduct an error is only by identifying if the fingerprint type that you have identified, the code you have identified is incorrect. That is the where the challenge can be. And the moment you do that, the entire report is going to go haywire. So ultimately, at the end of it, initially I always suggested, and a lot of people do it also. I always tell them ki fine, initially when you are doing a DMIT, when you are doing for a person, you have taken a 10 fingerprints or 30 fingerprints. For those 10 fingerprints, if you share it with me on the WhatsApp, and I can tell you if any of the fingerprint which is incorrect, I can send you back and tell you ki this is the fingerprint, the ones which are correct. I can just send you the thumbs up. So for me, it's not gonna major time. For you, it's gonna be a learning, and if you do it for a couple of reports, you're done. So you don't have to go wrong with the input. If the input is correct, then the output is definitely gonna be good, right? So when you talk about this particular thing, so therefore, when a person takes into the language which is the mother tongue, and if you have given the voiceover, these two things actually will improve the accuracy to about 40-50%. I'm telling you, that is the major thing which is there. And also ask the parents to basically explain the question, or maybe you can explain the question if the child has got it right. I mean, they have a doubt for that matter, or if together you're taking a session of 100 people and just doing it and everybody is doing together, on the mobile, that also like you can explain. So that's the number one, like, you have to be very good. So while you talk about it, you have to, now when you've generated this particular report based on the questionnaire, you've selected the ID and this is done. Now what is going to happen, tell me? Now what you have to do is you have to first of all confirm with the parents and the child that what the report has talked about it, the MI, the ranking and all this stuff is also with the parents agree with. If the parents doesn't agree with that, then you have to understand that and you have to understand, okay, what do they have to say? But ultimately, you need to understand that you have to, because sometimes what happens, the child is not into the right mindset, or maybe like, he has just filled it casually. So sometimes you have to cross check that. So in 70% of the cases, it will be same what the report has generated. But in 30% of the cases, it can be a little different also, where a person, this is saying that logically the child is good in architecture, the other way, like, the parents are saying, no, we don't agree with that. And ultimately, at the end of it, you need to understand, because it is the psychometric is not about machine cannot do everything. That's where the counselors are required. Machine can do a bit part of it. The counselors are going to do the rest part of it, right? So you actually, like, very humbly ask them that, what do you feel about it? Can you give me an example, or something? We don't need to always keep on justifying as, no, 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 it's written in the report. Maybe you can't see it right now, but future it's going to happen. You don't have to ever do that. The good counselors never do that. What you have to do is you have to understand, okay, I see, I really understand that. Yeah, and you can explain them that definitely, the way the child answers, so accordingly, that it's an algorithm. So therefore, we confirm with the parents and what do, because ultimately, the report that we will be generating, the final report is going to be based on the MI and what they feel is number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. And if it is the same, let it be. If it is not the same, then it's okay. Would you take the feedback and then you go further and explain them, right? Then this report further talks about, like, for example, intrapersonal skill. So in intrapersonal skills, it talks about the percentage. For example, here it is talking about the highest is 12.17, that is body kinesthetic. Now, body kinesthetic, if you go there, they may not be, and if you try to suggest the career, so similarly, immediately what comes into the people's mind, this is the job which is you don't get a good jobs. Actually, like, this is not a very higher paying. Yeah, this is body kinesthetic, 12.17, right? Now, body movement control. Now, this is suggesting the career, preferred learning style, physical touch, movement, touch, and feel. Now, this is asking you to be an athlete, पैसा नहीं है, dancer, पैसा नहीं है, mechanic, पैसा नहीं है, या कम पैसा है, actor, actress, how many people become, performer, you have it's not a stable career, physical education teacher, there's no money, craftsman, no money, less money, physical therapist, ठीक है, हो सकता है थोड़ा बहुत, farmer, I don't want to get into it, carpenter, am I going to become a carpenter, builder, park ranger, firefighter, paramedic. Now, if you try to give this to the parents, parents say, bullshit, yeah, I'm not interested. Okay. This is what is going to happen. So you need to understand counseling as a subject. So this is one. So the moment now there's so many other fields that you can actually understand, but you don't have to do that. So you can tell them, what do you feel about the kinesthetic? What do you feel about the ranking number one? So one is naturalist also, musical also, and spatial. Spatial. Okay, musical maybe, I mean, something that I was talking about, something like that is going to happen. But spatial visual, this is about the 3D visualization. It is about the imagination, the 3D visualization, like an architect. Architect can visualize the building, the Eiffel Tower, the Burj Khalifa. It can actually. So that is something which is the bet a person can take it. Or what would be the best ways like to actually, if there's a profession which uses all the three dominant, functions, dominant MI, like musical, and then you have naturalist, है ना? Sorry, naturalist, musical, and okay, these were actually the lower one I was talking about it. The higher ones are a little different, 12.61. So sorry, I took the blue one, but I hope you got the concept. Now the whole idea is the higher one is logical mathematics, which is 12, which is like the number one is musical, naturalist, and special. So let's talk about a profession which are having all three of them. Which are the profession where you require all the three things together. So that will be the best and the ideal profession because you got three most dominant from the top. That is something that is your comfort area. That is what you enjoy. And the child and the person is gonna actually we will suggest them the career as a counselor to the parents, which require all the three parameters together in that particular profession. Because none of the profession requires only one MI. It requires multiple things. Whatever that you take it, right? Whether you get into sports, you become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a lawyer, you become anything for that matter. There's no single thing no single MI which is required. It's a multiple MIs. Correct? So having said that, now let's come back to, so this is the report, the way it is being explained. And then it suggests there's a page like logical, if you want to improve upon the logical thing, how to improve the logical mathematical intelligence, it explains you about it. It gives you different ideas that how you can do that. So this is the report, and this is the way it does it for all the multiple intelligence. And then it talks about McKinsey theory and whether you're analytical, interactive, or introspective. And then that's the end of the report, right? Now, this is the thing on which you can actually do a decent counseling for 40, 45 minutes. The more the knowledge that you gain, you have to expand on every horizon. That is what is important. But what is going to, after doing that, this is the base. Without the report, you can't do. You can move a car when you have a car. When you have a car, you fuel in the petrol and the car will start moving. So this is the car. This is the fundamental. This is the basic, right? Without that, you can't do anything. Now, with this, if you take a help of a DeepSeek, okay, they are Chat GPT also and DeepSeek also. So what I suggest is the DeepSeek for a simple reason. So what you've done is you've generated the report, okay, and now you have a PDF copy. So what you can do is you can see that attachment sign. You just go there and attach this particular file. Can you see the report is attached? Okay. So can you see that report is generated? Now you want to see the magic. What all can you derive out of it? What all can you derive out of it? What you have to do is, I'll give you a prompts today and I just paste that, right? I have actually like created that prompt for that matter by a lot of experiments. So first thing, it will further tell you, if you want to do academic counseling for that matter, you'll say, what is the brain dominance and how to develop the weaker brain with fun activity. So you are talking about the brain first, which is the dominant brain. What is the IQ level, EQ level, CQ level, and AQ? In DMIT, you get it, but in psychometric, you don't get it, right? If a child who is 9 and 10 years old and you want to development, you want the to show a parents that how to develop the child. You want to create a roadmap for them. That is what is the blueprint that is going. You are going to create out of it. Yeah. So, what is the IQ level of the child? What is the EQ level, CQ level, AQ? Third question, what is the most dominant learning style? This report doesn't talk about a dominant learning style, but from MI, it is able to derive for that matter, right? Whether you're a left brainer or the right brainer, how does it come in? If your left, the total score of the left brain is more, or the total score of the right brain is more, so the DeepSeek is going to derive out of that calculation. You just have to, you don't have to copy, paste the text. You just have to attach the report. In Chat GPT, it doesn't take a report. It says the file is very heavy. But in this particular thing, it is going to take the report for CFT. Okay. Then it talks about what are the values the child should possess. Parents would like to know about the values, right? What kind of an environment will the child need to optimize the learning? Now, anything that comes to your mind, you are free to ask. You are free to ask the question to the DeepSeek, right? The base, it is going to take your report and it is going to give you logically. It will calculate internal formulas and it is going to give you the result in no time. What are the values the child possesses? What are the kind of an environment the child will require to optimize the learning? Then what are the interests of the child? Okay. What extracurricular will the child enjoy and perform better so that during the summer camps, you can actually put the child into that particular thing rather than putting into any extra curricular. What are the three most dominant multiple intelligence? Top three conscient. List out the best 10 professions and functions that need all the three dominant multiple intelligence, right? अभी हम ये academic counseling कर रहे हैं. We are talking about an academic counseling. So we have taken the question accordingly. Amongst the careers suggested, list them down in a descending order based on demand, then an average annual income salary. Do a SWOT analysis of the child. It can do a SWOT analysis of the child also, right? Create 3-month roadmap, weekly activity and duration. Create a report summary in tabular format. Report ki puri ek summary, whatever that we are talking about, so it can actually give us in the tabular format. Give step-by-step counseling points, step-by-step counseling point. Now, create word-by-word counseling to be finished in 45-minute session. If you want to understand how to plan your 45-minute session, the DeepSeek will give it to you, right? After once I've done that, I've just said, now the DeepSeek is thinking and creating, and it has given the report. Okay. So when you give it to the parents, you give that particular report and this particular report. Okay. So see how much time it's going to take. No time, and you will be empowered. You will be empowered and you'll be well prepared for the child's counseling or the parents' counseling. Okay. So ultimately, the first thing that it talked about it is, what is the brain dominance and development? So brain dominance, whether you're a left or right brainer. So this is saying Vishram shows balanced brain activity, which is, it is got a balanced brain. And it is also talk about the, like, dominance analytical 35.3 and 32.6. So 5% say come difference with it, that is something which is considered to be as a balanced brain. Weaker brain area is the introspective domain, right? Now, what are the fun activities the child can do to basically do the balanced brain and use the whole brain? A child should do 10 minutes of the journaling per day, mindfulness exercise, guided meditation, solo creative project like painting, writing, poetry, and all this stuff. So whatever the weaker areas is there, it has just given you a very fundamental thing. Now the best part is you can actually expand to any level. You can say, give me 10 more suggestions. It will give you 10 more suggestions on data. So whatever the queries, the parents may have it, and accordingly you can incorporate and ask the question and get the answer. It is not giving it to you from the Google. It is giving you from the report. So report and MI is the base. It is expanding it for you and structuring it for you, right? Then IQ to report mein hai hi nahi, right? IQ is a mix of three things: logical, language, and spatial visual. These three things in combination became actually like it becomes an IQ. So logical thinking, it is moderate. EQ is high, and CQ is high, and AQ is likely moderate. AQ is like adversity counseling, right? Adversity quotient. So sometime when a child is into the problem or any kind of a mishappening happens, how do you deal with the situation is AQ. We all know about it, right? I'm just emphasizing because many people are not able to understand AQ. EQ, emotional quotient, they understand. Creative quotient, they understand. IQ, intelligent quotient, everybody understand. So it is talking about high and medium. Yeah. So this is the medium. This is high. EQ and CQ is high. So we have understood that. Dominant learning style. Learning style में क्या है आपका dominant style? So it says kinesthetic, which is primarily the hands-on. A child will be able to understand more by doing the things. So how to learn group discussion, role plays, and hands-on experiment. Use music mnemonics for memorization because that's the strength. So if you play a background music, the child will be able to learn better. Core values, then it has talked about it. Ideal learning environment, collaborative learning चाहिए इसको, dynamic चाहिए and creative, open-ended tasks चाहिए. Avoid rigid solitary, like you can't put the boundaries when the child, and if you want to create an atmosphere, accordingly you have to create an atmosphere. Accordingly you can set up the desk for the child. Accordingly you can have the kind of a posters if at all you want to apply onto the wall. So everything matters, right? Interest, Riaz theory. So it has talked about the highest social, artistic, and realistic. Social means what? Recommended extracurricular, debate club, music classes, and volunteering. This is what is best recommended. Top three multiple intelligence, musical, naturalist, and specialist. Now, top 10 professions combining dominant intelligence. So, teen dominant intelligences हैं. Accordingly, like what are the areas which the child can choose? So if we would have gone by the report, we would have said something to the child. Here, it is giving top 10. Architecture, right? Number 5, demand 1 to 5 में number 5 highest demand है. 8 to 12 lakh rupees आपका initial package है. Environmental scientist, right? 6 to 9 lakh rupees मिलते हैं. 4. Music therapies की demand कम है. So don't go for it. साउंड इंजीनियर तो जिसमें 5 है आपका ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग. अब तो खैर एआई की वजह से ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग इज आल्सो gone, but yes, to an extent, animation is still there, but animation is also going to go. But architecture is got. So accordingly, this is the base, and this is something you can help the parent to choose what the child can connect with, which profession, and that is where you're going to help the child. SWOT analysis: the strengths, creative, empathy, and teamwork. Weakness, low intrapersonal intelligence. Opportunities, growing demand for eco-conscious careers, right? And threat, competition in artistic field is very heavy. So that is something which is it's giving you the SWOT analysis. 3 months roadmap. Now 3 months इसने बहुत छोटा सा दिया है अभी. We can expand that. I'll just try to help you to expand that also. Now, काउंसलिंग पॉइंट्स, एक्सप्लोर स्ट्रेंथ. 45 minutes का जो आपका काउंसलिंग पॉइंट्स है, इट्स गोना गिव इट टू यू. सो इट इज गोइंग टू एक्सप्लोर स्ट्रेंथ्स, एड्रेस वीकनेस, आपको वीकनेस को एड्रेस करना है, एंड यू हैव टू गिव इट द एक्शन प्लान. सो विल टॉक अबाउट द स्ट्रेंथ, विल टॉक अबाउट द वीकनेस, उसको कैसे आपको करना है, हाउ डू यू हैव टू इंप्रूव, एंड एक्शन प्लान. What are the next 3 months gonna be for the child? So report summary, dominant intelligence, learning style, topic सारस ने दे दिया. ठीक है, this is what it has given. Now, if I want to understand further, give me a sec. Now, was it for the career? what you would have done is, let's say, there's another set of prompts. I'll just put that and let's see what the kind of a results that it gives. If somebody you have decided to find architect banna hai, so you want to understand what are the best career options or what are the best institution for that matter, which are the top institutes and all this stuff, so it is going to talk about. So let's understand furthermore. So if you just want to do specifically, that was for the career, for the academic counseling. If you want to improve the academic, you have to talk about a left and right brain, balancing of left and right brain. What are the type of a learning style the child has got it? And what is the IQ level of a child? What is the EQ level of a child? What are the areas that the child should improve upon? What is the MI of the child? You are going to talk about that. You're going to create a 3 months roadmap. What is the kind of an extracurricular activity the child should be doing it? Now we are talking about, let's say the career is, the counseling is based specific to what? Specific to career counseling. Then it's a different set of command that you're going to give it, right? And the best part with these AI tool is what? You don't have to talk in any further particular language. You talk in Hindi, you talk in any language. You write in any language, it will give you an answer. Yeah. And the best thing is you don't have to structure and think if there's a particular format or a prompt for that. The best prompt is your normal language, because the AI has been created like that it can understand your normal language. So if you really look at it, these prompts that are given are, it just experimented, but yeah, I mean, it is the same. Now let's get into it. So I talked about what are the 20, once I knew that, but still I wanted to talk about the career. What are the best 20 best colleges in India for the first best recommendation of career? तो जो सबसे ज्यादा रिकमेंडेड है उसके लिए टॉप बेस्ट कॉलेजेस कौन से हैं, राइट? 3 मोस्ट डोमिनेंट मल्टीपल लिस्ट ऑफ द 10 प्रोफेशन एंड फंक्शन. तो ये थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में है. तो इट इज सेइंग 3 डोमिनेंट इंटेलिजेंसेस कौन से हैं, उसके हिसाब से आर्किटेक्चर इज नंबर 1, 5 points, and graphic designer, as it has written, what are the salary average it is going to give. If you give this information, I mean, along with the report, if you create another set of PDF and actually give this information, are the parents not going to feel happy about it? Right? Then you are going to tell them कि find descending order by demand and income. जो इनकम के हिसाब से एंड डिमांड के हिसाब से डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर. तो फर्स्ट आर्किटेक्चर आता है, देन आर्ट डायरेक्टर, environment, so this thing, urban planner, sound engineer. So if a child want to select architecture or maybe urban planner, so it is basically give you an idea, correct? Top 20 colleges in India for architecture. It will give you all the top 20 colleges, location, fee, annual fees, eligibility criteria kya hai, and which is the entrance, it is going to talk about that, right? Then key counseling takeaway for Vishram. Right? Architecture, environmental science align with the spatial plus naturalist plus musical strength. Exam preparation, NATA, Z-main via institutes like Silica or Ellen. Which are the institute which helps you to actually learn, or you can get into to prepare for the examination. And budget is public colleges, spa and all the stuff, right? Now you can say create a 3-week wise roadmap how to nurture the child. Right. So I just wrote that. So ultimately, what's going to happen? Let's see. Week 1, foundation and experiment. Right. अब इसने Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, week 1 का होता है foundation experiment. Discover strength and nature, music, this thing. And what number of time and everything it is writing down. Let it do it. Then we'll talk about that. So you are giving a roadmap to the parents of first week में क्या focus है, second week में what is the focus, third week में what is the focus, all that stuff. You're going to do that, man. Do you think it's not going to be interesting for you and the parents? Tell me, how did you like it, by the way? DeepSeek AI is free of charge. Yes. Thank you for your nice comments. Okay. So what has happened, man? It has just, you have just talked about a simple thing. It has given the roadmap. Yeah. Yeah. This was the thing. Here we gave a command, create a 3-week roadmap, 3-week wise roadmap, how to nurture the child. हमने पेरेंट्स को बताना है कि हाउ टू नर्चर द चाइल्ड. रिपोर्ट डज नॉट हैव अ मीनिंग. व्हाट इज द एमआई डज नॉट मीन टू द पेरेंट्स, है ना. इट डज नॉट मीन टू देम. व्हाट मीन्स टू देम, व्हाट डू आई डू. मेरे हाथ में क्या. आई नीड टू, यू नीड टू टेल मी हाउ शुड आई डेवलप द चाइल्ड. आई डोंट वांट जस्ट द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट फाइन this is what it is, this is what my child is. Whether I know it what my child is or don't know it, what is the, how does it matter. What matters is what is the action I can take to improve and nurture the child. That is what the parents' main crux is. And if you create this kind of a report, and maybe along with the sample report, you actually like have the PDF of this report. And while you are actually like talking to the parents, while you are even selling them, and tell them that this is the kind of a report that we give it to you, man. A three months plan and whatever it is. This is going to actually like help the parents genuinely. And your thing, I mean, like completely everything is like, taken care of. Now you'll see. This is talking about Monday ko kya kiya, Monday ko like nature walk. The first foundation work is foundation and exploration. Week 1 में आप कर रहे हैं. It is talking about the activity that you should do Monday to Sunday, and how much time do you need to spend, and which is the skill it is going to, naturalist, musical, naturalist, intrapersonal, which particular MI it is going to impact upon. Skill building and creativity is week 2 focus, and accordingly it is guiding. Application and growth is third week focus, right? So that is the way it has actually like given. It has given for 3 weeks, right? Maybe, acha, I said 3 weeks, so my command was wrong. I should have said 3 months. If I would have said 3 months, it would have given me for 3 months. 3 week wise, I've said, right? So that is the thing. Now, if you tell them, if you say, ki, give me word by word. This is called a real spoon feeding, huh? Word counseling. Counseling, word by word counseling of 45 minutes. देखते हैं क्या होता है. Let's see. Give me word by word counseling for 45 minutes. So now it is giving you word by word. Introduction, 5 minutes का introduction होगा. Counselor. Now let's come back. This will actually take the reports and everything to a different level. Now, if you really look at the report, that is the fundamental, that is the engine of the car, right? And this is something which is like this thing. Just say, when you go to the restaurant, dish is served in front of you. This is that dish. Kitchen ke andar, what is going to happen at the back of it is all MI and all the stuff. So far, I think majority of us, what we were trying to explain the parents was about that कुकिंग का क्या प्रोसेस है. हमको इंटरेस्ट नहीं है कुकिंग का. डिश कैसा टेस्ट करता है, हाउ द डिश टेस्ट, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. इट हैज डन इट राइट. नाउ लेट्स सी. So it is now talking about, some people say, yeah, what should be the counseling and how should it. So introduction 5 minutes ka. Hey Vishwam, it's great to meet you. I've gone through your career fitment report and I must say your strength in music, nature and design are truly impressive. Today we'll explore how to turn these talent into a fulfilling career. How are you feeling about this? Right now that's exactly you are going to question. And Vishwam responds. Then you say, counselor says, wonderful. Our goal today is to understand your top strengths, identify a career that align with them, and create a step-by-step plan to nurture these skills. Does that sound good to you? Now, this is something the counselor, you have set in the expectation of the child and the parent. Then Vishwam responds. Vishwam is actually my son's name, so I've just used that. So strength discussion, 10 minutes. Your report shows the strength discussion. Then you're talking about ki musical, naturalist, and spatial. This is going to, you are going to expand on that. Then you say that's fascinating. For example, when your reference is example. So ultimately, you're going to talk about that career exploration has the top 3 careers for you. तो career का आपने बताया, then great, let's dive deeper into it. Selected career, जो भी select career करा है उसने career, you're gonna be talking further more about it, which I've already told you. Then you are going to talk about the roadmap. 10 minutes you're going to talk about the roadmap. Last 5 minutes you're going to have the Q&A, and you're going to motivate the person about the strength, about the, that you are a unique child, you've got a unique strength, all the stuff. And finally, for 5 minutes, you're going to do the closing. And that's the thing. Okay? That's the thing. Now, over to you guys. How do you feel? What do you think about it? Yes, Sundar, you can create a 10 plus year roadmap. Actually, it gives you automatically, because in the report, the age comes in. So this takes it, but you further mention it that I want it for this particular age group, and the activities that you suggest on a roadmap should be keeping in mind that it is a 10-year-old child or it's a 15-year-old child. So it is going to accordingly suggest you. If you tell him, my dear, if you tell DeepSeek, he find, like, can you give me, let's say the architecture, this thing it has given you. Now, if you say, can you give me the YouTube video link, which are there, which talks about this particular profession, right? It'll give it to you. It'll give it to you. So idea is that whatever the questions that comes into the mind of the parents, that is something, the only thing is the MI confirmation. You have to confirm that this is the MI and the parents. Otherwise, what will happen is everything, if the parents say, no, I don't think this is the MI. So accordingly, सब कुछ गलत हो जाएगा. Everything will go wrong. So what you need to do is, you need to first confirm the MI. Now you can take 10-15 minutes to confirm the MI and do it in 2 parts. Then you say, fine, I'll do it in. Or you can do it at that point of time also. There's no problems about it. But after once you confirm the MI, right? So in that case, what you'll have to do is the report which is there. Instead of report, you have to talk but about that report and the ranking and the ranking of those MI. And that you have to paste it. You have to actually like type it down, you have to paste it. And then that is something you are not going to use the report then. You are going to use that MI which has been, which you have confronted with the parents and they have agreed upon. Now that new MI which the parents agree and you agree, you are going to type into the chat community, because the base is MI, and then accordingly it's going to actually create everything. Yeah, it's going to create that magic that you've just seen. Okay, so do you want to actually take this report or this prompts? You want me to give it to you? With this, do you think the counseling becomes a little better and a little easier? Today, what you have learned, you must use this, because this is something which is going to really take your counseling to the different level. Parents are going to be happy. And even for that matter, if you want to charge a premium, you can do that, right? But DeepSeek I've tested for almost about 17 people. I've done the counseling for 17 people. I've generated the report for 17 people. Then I checked with the parents, how do they feel about it? If their satisfaction level was this, now their satisfaction level was completely like, because they could find so much of value, and ultimately that 3 months roadmap, that is actually going to take them to the next level, because now they have a clarity and you're actually giving them the clarity in every aspect of it. So this is something which is going to be so much. So report has got this content, usko humne expand karke we have actually created and taken our counseling to the next level.